kind of swinging this intro, this riff. Boom. Keep it going. 1, 2. And of course, this chord that I'm playing is the Purple Haze chord, right? We call it the sharp 9, E7 sharp 9. It's about probably at least 20 years before Hendrix made it famous, in, at least, right? 20, 30 years before Purple Haze. So, E, and then he moves it down a half step, which is essentially it's tritone substitution for what chord? Tritone for the A7, right? The 4 dominant. So whenever you kind of move chords, dominant chords around by half steps like that, it's probably going to be a tritone sub, because dominant chords like to move like this in a circle of fifths backwards, which is fourths. So when you move a dominant chord chromatically like this, then it's tritone substitution for the dominant chord, where it'd be like E, A, D, G, C, F, B flat. So again, that's whenever you have a dominant chord moving chromatically, even ascending, you can think of it as being a functional chord, the fifth of, if that makes sense. So E7, E flat 7, even with a sharp 9, doesn't matter, it becomes an A13 chord, really. See, now I'm putting the A in the bass, so it's actually A13 with a flat 5. Tritone sub is flat 5. So there's, again, that's what's going on with the chords. He's just kind of going back and forth. So it's almost like 1 to the 4 chord, E to A, right? Like a blues, you know, like this. But not that. It's so it's more dissonant. Okay.
On the notes, you have on
the tabs.
Flat,
Yeah.
On the tabs.
Yeah.
You have the open E playing.
Yeah,
So
and that's true
like,
because the bass is still going to hit that low E. Yeah, the bass is not going to hit an E flat when the bass. So that way the riff is essentially this: 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Even though the chords are this, just moving down in half steps or back and forth. Okay, but that's the theory behind it if you want to know. And you're not going to do the Bolero strum on the intro, which is kind of an open feel. So let's all do that again. You can choose if you want to play the riff or the chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3. You can, yeah. Do-do, do-do, do. And let's stop, and then the melody. Now we're gonna bust into the A section. Okay, this song is AABA song form, AABA, 32 bar song form, standard. Of course, there's that intro and there's that ending. Any questions on that riff at all? Does that kind of make sense? You'll hear some variations on it for sure. You know, different players will do some variations. But again, that's from one particular recording, that Rome recording, 1947, maybe 49.
I have a question.
And the piano's on there as well. Yes, please.
When you put the E in the bass for
Yeah.
the E flat 7
Yeah.
sharp 9, essentially.
That's what Pete just asked you.
Right.
Yeah, so again, that's just what the bass is doing. So,
I was trying to figure out what it is.
Oh, it's a flat 9. Well,
yeah. Again, it's just part. It's just, you don't want to play that note though. I mean, that's just part of the riff. It's just written there because that's the riff. You know, that's just what the riff is.
I thought
But
I was supposed to
no,
do
no.
that.
I did too. I thought it was
No.
like
Yeah.
It sounds kind of
Yeah.
weirdly okay.
I'll remove that open string there. But again, the riff is this. You know what I mean? So that, but with this and this. But yeah, you don't want to hit that low E necessarily, unless you're going to do that riff like this. So I'm actually actually hitting that low E.
Yeah.
And then it's stop. And then now we're off to the Bolero. So now let's go through the chords here for this A section. Then we'll talk about the Bolero strum pattern. We got E major 9. Very pretty chord. And you can also do E6-9, this. And that's what Django does. He actually goes major 9 to the 6-9. So it's just a major 7 to the 6. You know how I'm always saying this voice leading? So that's what he's doing. He's going da-dum, da-dum. And then he does it on the minor chord as well. But a lot of people don't observe that. But then he does this. So he's actually going major 7 to the 6. But what most people end up doing is simplifying a little bit. So it's major 9. That's what I'm going to show you. The major 9. And then we want to make it, that's 2 bars. You could go 6-9 again too. That's beautiful. And then minor 9. A13. Now D6-9. And when you have a 6-9 chord, that could be dominant or it could be major. So you're kind of safe having it as a 6-9. And then C9. That's dominant. You could be C6-9 too, by the way. But dominant sounds better on that. During his solo, he does hit a major 7. And then the B9. And stop. And then this F9. You don't need the flat 5 in there. I wrote the flat 5 in like this. But that's where the melody is, the F9 with the flat 5, which is a B note.
It has an augmented sound.
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah, augmented would be this. But this is a flat 5. But yeah, it's color. It's a color note, yeah. It's a sharp 11, flat 5. It's very dreamy. That's where you use the whole tone scale, you know. So yeah, let's go through that again. Major 9. And we have 2 bars of it, so what I recommend is go major 9, then 6-9. Yeah, don't worry about the strum yet. And then minor 9. And then A13. D6-9. C9, dominant, not 6-9. B9. I like to go up half step like this. I go a little side slipping there, just B, C, B. Not everybody does that. And then back to the F9 on beat 3. And then E major 9. Okay. We all have those chords. Let's try that again. E major 9. E6-9. 3, E minor 9. A13. D6-9. C9. B9. C9. That's what I like to do. Stop. F9. Now we got to get this triplet. Well, I use a triplet pattern. So it's one triplet, done. And that, yeah, you just want to get used to this triplet. So do this. That helps a lot to get that quick triplet. Done. And you're gonna end on an upstroke. That's what's kind of funny about this. And then it's all downstrokes. And 4 and 1.
So it's 1 triplet, 3 and 4 and?
Exactly, 1 triplet, and the triplet is a 16th note. So it's actually an 8th note, a triplet 16, and then one triplet and 4 and 1 triplet 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet 2 and 3 and 4 and you do want to put those accents on the offbeats. And yes, and yeah, and. Do you all have a piece of paper? Guitar players? I'm going to show you a quick trick. Can I borrow somebody's piece of paper? Please, can I borrow one of your sheets? You guys have a piece of paper? So I like to show this. I started this about 15 years ago when I was teaching this song initially. Just a strum pattern. It's a good little hack, but it's a kind of a fun hack you can do. I have a YouTube video on this too, I think. But you can put a piece of paper like this, and you turn your guitar. You have to weave it in and out every other string. But now your guitar becomes a snare drum. You know? No chord. I'm just focusing on the groove. And this is great. You could put on, I would recommend put on Django or whoever your favorite, you know, artists are for Gypsy Jazz. Put on the recording pretty loud and just do this, or, you know, just focus on the groove is what I'm saying. Be the drummer in the band, so you could put the track on, the real track, and just, so it says triplet. And I'm kind of rotating the pick around. And that's that triplet. Now there's so that's what I would do for practicing. Just do that. There's a way to simplify the rhythm, and it's just going to be an eighth note, 2 16th, and then the eighth notes, 2 and 3 and 4 and it's a little bit easier. It's just I think it kind of loses a little bit of the quality that the Bolero rhythm, the triplet, you know, that Maurice Ravel used in the Bolero or the dance, whatever. But that triplet. So I prefer the triplet bit. And you just want to get that quick little. That triplet, and it's just down, up, down, up. You want to, and then get those accents on the and of 2, the and of 3, and the and of 4.
Is this it? And I'm sorry to make you read my check and scratch.
Yeah,
Is that it?
yeah.
Okay. That's 1, 2.
No,
triplets.
there's one triplet. That's one. You're missing an eighth note and an eighth note, so you're missing beat 1 there.
Oh, that was beat 1. It just was really scratchy.
No, but the triplet is immediately after 1. So it's 1 triplet, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 triplet, 1 triplet 2.
And of 1.
Yes, 1 triplet, 1 triplet 2 and 3 and 4. I'd get used to hitting them all. But that's a good question. I don't hit the low strings, really. Yeah, just kind of practice this little flutter, this triplet. Yeah, I'm using my Diodario purple pick, but I would probably use a gypsy pick for this usually if I have one. Do you guys have gypsy picks?
I don't know what they are.
These fatter picks. This is a weekend pick. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is great for the Bolero. So it's fat. So again, that's the story behind the triplet. Make your guitar a snare drum, and then put it on. Let's keep going with the chords now. We got the chords of the A section: E major 9, 6 9, minor 9. 13, D6 9, C9, B9, C9, stop, F9, and repeat. Second A, E minor 9, A13, C9. There, it's a quick change. C9 to B9, and E major, and stop. And that's going to lead us now to the B section. So just be aware that on this second A, you don't hang out on C9. It goes C9, B9, then resolves to the E major 7. So you want to go. And then E7. And now we're going to be in the B section. A minor. it just used standard A minor. D9, G diminished 7 to G6. Or your choice, I often do G dim 7 to G major 7. It's really pretty. And then G sharp dim 7. And that G sharp dim is a sub for what chord? Pete.
For G7. No.
Well, it could be, but not in this case. Roger.
C6.
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
It's okay, Amber.
C7.
C7, no. Was that a random guess?
That's
No, well, I was thinking of.
Oh, did you say C7 too?
I was thinking of fourth below G. Oh, that's a fifth.
Well, here's the thing though about the diminished chords. Typically, he's using it two different ways. The first way is a tonic diminish. It just creates a tension on the one chord like this, and then resolve. So you have this, and then resolve. But then this G sharp dim. This is what I was asking. What is it a sub for? E7. Why E7? It's pulling us to what? A minor. So it's pulling us G6 to G sharp dim is a sub for the E7, flat 9, and then A minor. So that's you always kind of want to know if what the diminish is a sub for. But the first one is a tonic diminish, but this one is a sub for E7. So it's E7 flat 9 essentially.
Okay, so it's a different kind of thing than the tritone. So that's what I was.
Well, even with tritone sub, the diminish is just going to be the same diminish, believe it or not. So E7, what's the tritone of E7?
A flat.
B flat. Yeah, B flats. So E to B flat. So the B flat, if you looked at the 4 diminished 7th chords that can be used with B flat 7, G sharp is one of them, or A flat. You're just going to call it A flat dim 7. So it's still, you can still use the same one. So whether or not the rhythm guitar player, or even if the rhythm guitar player is doing tritone sub, tritone sub, got to get my sub straight. If the rhythm guitar player chooses to do tritone sub, you can still be playing the same diminished 7 arpeggio or chord. It's going to function the same way. So that's safe. It's very safe to do. So in this case, we have the B section. Let's go over this. This is Troublant Bolero. For those anybody tuning in, doing a live stream here too. A minor 7, D7, 2, 5, 1. But the 1 is diminished first. Tonic diminish. And very old school. And then G6. And then G sharp dim, the sub for E7. A minor, 2, 5. Oh, sorry, no, that's actually, I do 2, 5, but Django goes A minor 7, F sharp half dim, and then the B7. And then B7, C9, B. Now, I don't know if I wrote the C, and that's just what I like to do, so that's my own arrangement. So from A minor 7, after the G sharp dim 7, it goes to F sharp half dim to the 5, and it just creates some movement and tension, and then the F9, and then your last A. E minor 9, I'll yell it out, A13, D6 9, C9, B9, E major 9, and stop. B7 sharp 5. That's your turnaround chord to go back to the beginning. And yes, you could listen to this. Listen to this. I'm doing that tritone sub. So B7 is a tritone, or what is the tritone sub for B? F. Good. You guys know how to find the tritone really quickly? Can I show you? Purple haze. This. So in this case, put your finger on B, on the 6th string, for guitar players, of course. Now, play me a power chord. Do this. Oh, don't do that, but just play a power chord. Get carried away with power chords. Now, flat. That power chord is a root in the 5th. Perfect 5th. Tritone is a flat 5. So you just say flat 5, sub. Yeah. So you do this. That's how quickly you can find the flat 5. Is just play power chord first and flat your 5th. So when I did this little lick here, I went like this. That's tritones. So B7, you can substitute a tritone away, any dominant chord, that's going to be F7. I'm going to play F9. And that's why that first and the second turnaround, we were using that F9, this, to go back to E major. So listen to this, F9, E major, B7, I'm going to add the sharp 5, E major 9. Very, very similar. They share this, they share the root and the flat 7 and the 3, B7 and F7. That's the beauty of tritone sub. So listen to this, I'm going to do this B7, I'm going to do 3 notes, so you hear it like this. B7, F7. So I'm just doing this. 3 note, just the 3 note shapes, you know, this. But you can add fatter chords on if you want, like this. So get used to doing that is what I'm saying. Like play the 5, and then immediately go to the tritone. And you can keep it as a 9, and then resolve it to the 1. Okay, just that's one of my suggestions. Get used to, if that's new for you, overuse it. You know, just throw it in as much as you can. So here's a 2-5-1 down to maybe C major just for fun. D minor 9. Now check this out. So I went D minor 9. G7 sharp 5. D flat 9. C major 7. Or C major 9, exactly. Yeah, so again, get your fingers used to these patterns. Or in this case. So you'll see the dominant chord on the chart. It'll just say B7, right? But you know you can go tritone. And that makes a killer lick. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. So anyways, that's a little bit on tritone substitution. Remember, they share the same diminished 7 arpeggio. The 2 dominant chords, a tritone away. Okay, they share the same 4 diminished 7 chord or arpeggio. So you can still, you know, this. It doesn't matter. Or the run, you know, if you're doing an arpeggio. So the diminished arpeggios are great, or the chord subs, whether the band or bass player or rhythm guitar player is doing tritone sub. And also, just one last thing about tritone sub. Just remember, tritone sub generally would create a chromatic movement, bass line movement. So if you played an E major 9, check it out. Now, all I have to do is go up a half step and play dominant. I'm going to play 9, just keep it in the same color. Let's all do this for fun. When we come back in a future term, January, I'll teach this beautiful Bolero by Gypsy jazz guitar player Roman, and he has a tune called Monticello, and that's what he does. He goes, he does that movement, which is tritone. So that's substitution. But everybody just do this for a second. E major 9. And then go up half step. E F9. That's tritone sub. And then put the real B in the bass. Now you have B7 sharp 5. So that's a great way to see that. So again, you'll hear a lot of gypsy jazz songs. Here's one called Noto Swing. It goes like this. It goes up a half step. Some of you learned that with me last term. But A minor 6, B flat 7. When it does that half step movement, you can assume it's tritone substitution for the real 5. You know, so now you know what to play for soloing too. Don't be afraid of those half step dominant chords. Like, where does that come from? It's a substitute for the real 5. So we're going over the chords to Troublant Bolero. We're also doing the strum pattern. It'd be great to have the backing track, but Amber, maybe you can play the melody on the accordion. It's gonna sound lovely. Well, let's go over the B section. The chords were a little bit tricky on the B section. A minor 7, D9, G dim 7, G6, G sharp dim, A minor 7, down to F sharp half dim, which is also A minor 6, same B9. And now that might not be written in the chart, this little side slip, but again, I like to go half step above. And stop, and then last A. Let's take it out. E minor 9, A13, D6 9, C 9, and stop B7, and that B7 sharp 5 or the F9. Again, if you wanted to. And now we're at the top. Yeah, so Amber, do you have the melody there? While we all play chords, or can you? It's.
So I can try.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Owen, can you come up here and play the melody too?
Sure.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I want. So again, I'm gonna focus. I want somebody to play the melody while we're playing the Bolero strum pattern.
Okay.
I just play it straight. I wrote it out. I kind of simplified it from what the is it on the recording, that Rome recording? Is it clarinet playing the melody, or is it violin? No, not Stefan's not
I
on.
haven't
Is it?
this week.
Okay, yeah. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, just you can follow my tabs. So we're gonna start with the intro. Let's try it out if we're ready for this. You guys got it? And you can do the simplified bolero, the da 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 da, or the triplet da da yeah da 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 da. Yeah. All right. Lovely. Intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and slow. With this little swing. And get ready for the melody and stop. E minor 9, A13, D6 9, C9, B9, stop, B F9, E major 9, 6 9, E minor, A13, D6 9, nice. Quick change. E7, A minor, D9, G dim, G6, yeah, G sharp dim, nice, A minor, improv on is fine, ad lib, last A, nice. Yeah, ad lib. Quick change. Yeah, then we're off into solos, okay? That was nice. Thank you guys for playing the melody too. Again, just kind of ad lib. You just use that lead sheet as just kind of a. I mean, of course, if you're working it out for a recording or a gig, then you probably practice a little bit together. But we'll talk about the melody in a second. Any questions on the form? I just wanted to go through the form, and then there would be solos, and then there would be the melody out all the way through again. And then there's that outro, which is doom, doo doo dee doo dee, same thing. And then Django kind of does this really pretty riff. Not everybody does it, but this little ending like goes like this. Not that. Sorry. Then he goes something like that. Yeah, he does the harmonics beautifully. 5-1. But it's a nice little. He goes. Then 5-1. Yeah, 19th fret and 24th fret, B to E. And now again, we want to do that outro as well. So any questions on the form? It's important to kind of play through it. That's, you know, even if we don't have it all completely down. But such a beautiful song. No questions at all? The form, ace, the chords at all? And you guys are quiet today.
When you do the
Yeah.
triplet part of the
Yes.
Bolero, do the first note of the triplet, do you do an upstroke or down?
Down. Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay.
No worries. But it's funny that you're gonna end on an upstroke. Because you're gonna do this. You're gonna end on up, and then you gotta go down, 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 down. Yeah, no, it's done. Oh, and I had a good trick. You weren't here for that, but I had well, at least I demonstrated. I put a piece of paper, and then I turned the guitar into a snare drum, and then you just.
Practice that way.
I go all down. I go, except for that triplet. I go all down. Everything else. And yeah, so you could take any song and bolero it up. You know what I'm saying? Any kind of song, nice and slow. Nuage makes a really nice bolero. Anything that's kind of a ballad. You know, if you want that Latin vibe. You can try work on that bolero strum pattern. Yeah. And I kind of rotate the pick. I kind of mentioned this too, and I rotate the pick to the side generally. I'm using a pretty fat pick here. That way, I mean, you can have the point of the pick, but you also it might snag and it might flatter your hand, and if you don't mind picking it up on the floor. But if you rotate it to the side, you get a softer, brushy sound. But it's totally up to you. It's player's choice. You know, if you need it louder, then you're probably gonna use the point, and you're gonna dig in harder and hold it harder. So again, that's my recommendation on learning that bolero strum pattern.
Sorry, but did I get it right?
Yes, that looks good. Yeah, 1/8 note, 3 triplets, 16th note. So that's actually one beat. And then all 8th notes, 2 and 3 and 4 and, with an accent. I would want you to put an accent to show the accent on the and of 2, the and of 3, and the and of 4, the offbeats. And. And that's what kind of really helps, gives it that groove. I'm going to stop this so we can listen.